Today I'm going to talk to you about the sexiest, most exciting topic in fly fishing. See what I did right there? I lied to y'all. I'm going to talk about leaders and how I tie my leaders and why. Leaders aren't really sexy, but maybe with some of the advice and tips I give you here, you'll spend a little less money on your setups and you'll save yourself a lot of time. So lake fishermen spend probably 95% of their time fishing subsurface, not dry fly fishing. So any line that I'm fishing subsurface now, I tie in a micro swivel. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Number one, there's a graphic. Number two, this is what I do. You can see right there inside this package is a safety pin. And what I do when I get these things is I thread them onto a safety pin. Now, to start my leader setup, I'll get a standard set of tapered leaders you buy in any fly shop. And what I do is I buy 7.5 foot tapered leaders down to 2X. And the reason I selected 2X is because about 90% of my fishing is done with 3X tippet. So if I tie 2X on the top side of this swivel and 3X on the bottom side, I kind of ensure that the 3X is the breaking point. If it comes into a tug of war between the 3X and the 2X wins, and I don't lose the swivel. It stays attached to the tapered leader that's attached to my fly line. So the way I install these is I put them on a safety pin for a reason. If you saw the package that I put up in the graphic, you'll notice there's a bar that goes across, and that thing is annoying as hell. And what used to happen is I would try and get one of the swivels off that thing, and these things are tiny. Then you're trying to hold on to it while you thread a line through it and tie a knot, and if you ever drop that thing, good luck ever finding it. So what I do instead is once I get those things, I thread them onto a safety pin like this. Then when it's time to tie one on, I leave it on the safety pin. I'll pick the one closest to the point of the pin. I'll thread it on and tie my leader to it, the top part of my leader. What I mean by top part is not the tippet. And I will attach it while it's still hooked to the safety pin. That way I'm not losing it. Then once it's tied on, then I'll open the safety pin and thread it off. And I'm ready to go. Then I'm ready to tie my tippet in. Now, on both sides of this thing, I'm going to tie a double Davy knot. Now, I've put together a demonstration on how to tie a double Davy knot, but my hands are shaky, and I'll put a link in the description below that'll show you a better demonstration on how to tie a double Davy. Now, double Davies are great for a number of reasons. One, you can tie them, I can tie them in under 20 seconds. You people with steady hands and nimble fingers can probably tie a double Davy knot in under 10 seconds. So I've got that, and it's just happens to be quite a bit stronger than a cinch knot. It's faster to tie, it's smaller, takes up less real estate, wastes less tippet, and you wind up with a stronger knot. So I tie that on both ends, and I also tie my fly on with a double Davy knot. Now, what I found over my many decades of fly fishing is that the weakest knot in any leader that I've ever fished is usually, well, now that I'm using double Davy knots, is the knot where you tie your tippet into your leader, into your tapered leader. I used to extend all my tapered leaders, and initially I was using blood knots, but they take forever to tie, and if the fishing's hot or if you're in a moving vehicle like a drift boat, they're brutal to tie. Then I transferred over to a double surgeon's knot, and that knot kept breaking. It used to be the weakest point, and then I started doing triple surgeon knots, and those broke less often, but it was still the weakest knot in the entire leader system. So since going to swivels and putting my tippet on with a swivel and attaching that tippet to the tapered leader at the other end of the swivel, the weakest knot will be the Davy knot down by the fly. And the only reason that's the weakest knot is because after you've caught a few fish, your tippet is abrading on the teeth of the fish down near the fly. So if there's going to be a break, it's probably going to be there. So the other thing that I do that's a little bit, it's not different, and you'll probably get this advice in other places too, is that when I'm fishing sinking lines, my tippets on those, or my leader total length, is usually under 6 feet, and usually around 5. And what I do to accomplish that is I'll take one of these tapered leaders, tapered 2X leader. They come with about 1.5 feet to 2 feet of that final diameter, the 2X. I'll cut that back so that I'm down to about maybe 6 inches. And so I'm cutting off 1.5 feet of the front end of the taper, the very thin end of the taper, and I'm tying my swivel in there. Then I'll go back, I'll slide back up the leader about 3 feet, and I'll cut that tapered leader there, and I'll retie the perfection knot. Now I've got a leader without the tippet being added to that swivel. I've got a leader length that's about 3 feet, and then I'll add in about 18 to 24 inches of 3X tippet, and that is my sinking line tippet. So what happens is now that you've got those tapered leaders in and they're attached to micro swivels, is when it gets time to change tippet, you're not touching the tapered portion of the leader. I used to run through package after package of tapered leaders because it didn't take very long. If I'm fishing, say, a weekend, I might go through, 2 or 3 tippets, 2 or 3 tapered leaders. And the reason is because every time you tie in, it's like you lose a fish, you tie in a new fly, and your tippet section's getting shorter and shorter. And then eventually you want to extend the tippet back out, so you have to clip it at the tapered leader portion, and so you have to tie in there, and just the tying, you're losing some material because you have your tag end left. And the more you tie in, the more times you tie in, the more you're decreasing the length of your tapered leader until you're past that 2X portion and you're starting to get into the fat part of the leader. So by doing this, by tying into a swivel, you're always changing at the swivel, and your tapered leader portion just never gets shorter. So you can keep that on. I mean, a tapered leader might last you all season. So, just a little bit of leader advice that I hope helps you. So, try it and go out there and have some fun, catch some fish. Hey, if you can, please subscribe to the channel. My videos can be pretty hard to find in the sea of YouTube. So by subscribing, what happens is these videos show up in your YouTube stream. They're kind of delivered to you. I thank you, and I'll see you out there.